Has your family ever been a little too helpful with your newborn? My mother-in-law Diane moved in with us 2 weeks before my daughter Emma was born. She insisted on helping, but I missed the warnings. The first red flag appeared when she unpacked 6 suitcases and rearranged our nursery while I attended my final appointment. "I know what babies need," she said, replacing the soft yellow blankets I'd selected with scratchy pink ones. Mark shrugged. "Mom raised 4 kids. Listen," he said. When Emma arrived after 18 hours of labor, Diane was there before I held her. She swooped in, cooing and claiming Emma had her grandmother's eyes. For the first week, I was too exhausted to notice how Diane intercepted every visitor, holding Emma like a trophy. "Look who's awake to see Grandma," she'd announce, though Emma was clearly hungry and searching for me. When I reached for her, Diane said, "She's fine, rest." But I didn't want rest. I wanted my baby. By week 3, Diane had established a routine that excluded me entirely. She'd wake before dawn to get Emma from her bassinet, claiming she heard her first. She'd feed her the breast milk I'd pumped the night before, bathe her, dress her in outfits I'd never seen. "I bought these specially," she'd say. "The clothes you picked are too warm, too cold, too uncomfortable." When friends visited, Diane would correct my parenting in front of them. "Emma doesn't like to be held that way," she'd say, taking her from me. "She prefers how Grandma does it." My husband thought I was being oversensitive. "Mom's just trying to help," he'd say. "You should be grateful." The breaking point came when I overheard Diane on the phone with her friend. "Emma is exactly like Mark was as a baby," she said. "It's like having my son all over again. Honestly, sometimes I forget she's not actually mine." That night I confronted her. "I appreciate your help, but I need space to be Emma's mother." Diane's face hardened. "I'm just doing what's best for the baby. You're clearly struggling." The next morning I found Diane showing Emma old photos. "That's your daddy," she said, pointing to Mark's baby picture. "And that's me, your real mommy." My blood ran cold. When I told Mark, he accused me of twisting his mother's words. She obviously meant she was his real mommy, not Emma's, but I knew what I'd heard. 3 days later, I came downstairs at midnight to pump and found Diane in the rocking chair, Emma asleep in her arms. She was whispering, "Grandma will never leave you, not like your mommy will when she goes back to work." When Emma was 6 weeks old, Diane announced she was extending her stay indefinitely. "Emma needs me," she said, not even looking at me. That night, I played the recordings for Mark. His face went pale as he heard his mother tell our daughter, "Mommy's just the woman who carried you. Grandma's the one who really loves you." The next clip was worse. "When Mommy and Daddy go out next week, Grandma might just take you to her house where you belong." Mark finally saw the truth. We asked Diane to leave the next morning. She refused at first, accusing me of turning her son against her. "Emma needs me more than she needs you," she screamed as Mark packed her bags. Then she made her final play. "Mark, remember how I raised you after your father left? I sacrificed everything. You owe me." 3 days after Diane left, we received papers from a lawyer. She was suing for grandparental visitation rights, claiming I was an unfit mother with postpartum depression who was dangerously attached to my phone instead of my baby. The evidence? Photos she'd taken of me documenting her behavior. The judge reviewed my recordings and dismissed her case, issuing a restraining order. 6 months later, we moved across the country. Emma is 3 now and barely remembers her grandmother. Sometimes I feel guilty that she's missing that relationship. But then I remember Diane's words. "Grandma's the one who really loves you." Some family members are a little too helpful, not because they want to support you, but because they want to replace you.